So I'm with a good friend of mine, Greg Yost, and we're going to continue the conversations and discussions around the three things that we think are crucial for good long-term healthy sobriety. And that is in and around community, accountability, and transparency. So Greg, how you doing, man?
Great.
It's great to have you. So if you could tell everybody just a little bit, just kind of from a 30,000 foot view, your story. We just want everybody to kind of know who you are.
Anybody that I wanted to know me would have to start with, I battled with addiction for 30 years.
Okay.
I've been in recovery for 5 years, and the last 5 years have been nothing like anything that I would have dreamed happening. You know, I just, once I got into recovery at No Longer Bound, I started learning about relationships and about sharing and about what actual transparency was. Because in my life, I modeled all my relationships after two driving factors. One, you show everybody your best stuff. You show them what you got, what you're made of, and you hide everything else. You hide all your weakness, you hide all your failures. And that was the thing that really drove the shame in my life, that drugs and alcohol really worked so good to cover up. I mean, they were a solution for so much pain in my life, pain from my childhood, just feeling like I was never enough, feeling like I could never compare myself to anybody without feeling like a loser.
Yeah. So 5 years in versus the last 35 years?
Yeah.
So what's the biggest difference? So someone that's stuck and bound in addiction today and it's got a hold of them, right? Like what would you tell them? Like what's the one word?
I would say community. I really would, because and that word, to somebody who's bound up in addiction, they're not even gonna really understand what I'm really talking about. Starting with one person or one group of people, like AA or something, where you could find a good group. There's a lot of different groups out there, but finding a place where you could just be honest. You could tell people where you're at in life, what things are really taking up all the time in your head, what things are really giving you stress and pain, telling them why you run to drugs and alcohol, and just starting there and then of course there's a lot that can be gained from the wisdom of people who've gone through this, people that you can listen to, people that have that they don't judge you because they've been there and they understand. And when you finally realize that there's people who care, and I don't have to hide all this stuff, I can tell them my crap, the worst of the worst, and they're just gonna love me even more. It can be mind-blowing to find something like that, and then that could give someone hope.
What are a couple of things that you've gotten back over the last 5 years? What does life look like today? Just if the outside world's just looking in a window, right? So they just come up to the window and they just kind of peek in. Like when they look at Greg and Greg's life, what does it look like from the outside world today?
I was just at the end of that 30 years of addiction. I was just about to be homeless. I had everything moved into a U-Haul, and it was over. I didn't know where I was gonna go with all my tools and all my stuff, but now I have a home, I have a job, I have a wife that loves me and trusts me. I have all my kids back in my life. My daughter is coming to visit me here in a couple weeks.
Awesome.
And I have not seen her in 7 years, and that was only one time that I saw her since she was born. So I mean, I've gotten a lot back, but I've got friends, I've got people I can count on. If you look inside, I've got joy, I've got peace, I've got freedom. And those are things that I never knew. Even when I was not in my addiction, before the addiction took place, I didn't have peace, I didn't have joy, I didn't have this freedom that I found. I think that I ended up better off than I was before the addiction started.